Hello and welcome to the Example Podcast, where we bring you conversations with mature, modern, masculine men in an attempt to share their knowledge, wisdom and experience for you to learn from. Come as you are, take what you need, and remember, you are the captain of your ship. I'm excited to introduce our first guest, Jerrod Sieverding. He is the president of Data Power Technology Group based out of Urbandale, serving nationwide with over 80 employees. Jerrod is a phenomenal leader, husband, father to 3 awesome kids, and soccer coach to many more. Jerrod is the example of a great man. We talk about what Jerrod learned growing up in a farming household, how to work out your values and intentionally live by them, as well as what it takes to invest in a successful marriage, support your children through adversity, and why it is so important to give back when you can. Enjoy. What does it mean to you to be a good man?
Wow, yeah, it's a great question. So I look at it through a couple lenses, right? As I was a young man and getting started in my career. In fact, it's on my desk. I keep a picture of my grandfather, Sieverding, Eldon Sieverding. And this was taken sometime shortly after college, and we were at a family event, and my grandfather has the biggest smile on his face, right, while we're just having a family picture at a family event. And it's just he and I, right? And so I kept that picture with the context of whatever I do in my life, make sure it would be something that he would be proud of, right? And that goes for my grandfather, my father, all of the Sieverding men that came before me, right? But that just happened to be a snapshot in time that helps mentally remind me each day on whatever you're doing, professionally, personally, whatever area of life, make sure it's something he'd be proud of and my father would be proud of, right? That's a good frame of reference. The other one is being the father of daughters, right? So being the father of daughters, I love our son equally as our daughters, but the frame of reference that comes with being a girl dad is whatever I do in life, make sure that's something that throughout their young adult and adult timelines that they would say, yeah, he was a good man, he did it the right way, right? So making my daughters proud and conducting myself in a way where they would say, he did it the right way and he's a stand-up guy and that's the example I want to look at. I think both of those cases are those are just personally important to me. And I don't know if that's right or how people should live. I'm not here to say how they should live, but for me, those are good barometers.
I think that's, I see the quote, like, do things that your 80-year-old self would be proud of and your 10-year-old self would be proud of. And you've almost got that externally of yourself, you know. With that in mind, can you put a bit more like rubber on the road about what that looks like?
Yeah, so core values quickly come into the conversation when you ask that type of a question. So number one, I encourage anybody to understand, know, and quantify what are your core values, all right? For me, in my business life and my personal life, all areas of life, because of core values, right? Integrity is very, very high. It is the number one priority core value. Other things that enter into my core values are hard work, build trust, always conduct myself the way I would want others to interface and work with me. Some call it the golden rule, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated. So just having an understanding of those core values, I think, is where the rubber meets the road. I listed just 4 off quickly that are core values to me. And whatever those are for people, it's different for everybody. But if you know what your core values are, then all of a sudden you can make decisions and be pointed in a direction that just becomes much more simple in life.
Where would you start if you're like sort of just waking up as a man and you're like feeling a little bit aimless and directionless? You're saying your core values, so how would I start to work out what those are for me?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I was fortunate. I had very strong, I'll call it social structures around me in my youth growing up.
Okay.
So for me, defining my core values came from my upbringing, from the community I was raised in, from being raised on a farm, from the church home that we grew up in. I graduated from a high school of 28 people in my graduating class, right? So all of those community structures, societal structures helped form my core values. So one, look to where you came from, where you started, because that informs some sense of core values. Outside of that, when we get into young adulthood, we're faced with this whole new world, these former I don't want to call them boundaries, but these former guideposts that we had. Now all of a sudden those widen out. We have more choices in front of us. We have more experiences or situations we see, and we have a broader set of situations to pull core values and beliefs from. I think as a young adult, just having that strong early start and set of foundations, values, principles allowed me in young adulthood to kind of stay aligned to some of those, change some of those, and move forward. If someone doesn't have that foundation from young on the way up, the next place I would point somebody is go find an example of the example, right? And that becomes your mentor. Mentors in life, I believe, are vitally important, whether it's in business, whether it's in health and fitness, whether it's in a spiritual walk, whether it's in whatever you want to aspire to in an area of your life. Find a mentor in that area, and that person will start to help shape some of the core values through discussion, through discovery, through somebody that outside looks in and says, you think this is the mirror of what you see, but friend, here is what's really going on, right? A mentor can help you do that.
That leads us into, there's obviously books on the table already. So I'm thinking, if I'm a guy, I didn't grow up with a dad. Luckily, all my models, I was blessed at football. I enjoyed football, and all my positive role models came through that. My friends' dads are fantastic men, so I had that there. If I don't have any special gifts right now. I'm not talented at school, and maybe it's a bit rough, or just I'm not in the situation where I have those men around me.
Yeah,
I know that you are an avid reader. Is that almost an avenue to find a mentor, to find written words that people that have been there, done it,
certainly
can give to you?
Certainly, I would categorize it as an additional avenue, right? I still believe personal connections and one-to-one bonds are fundamental to development, right? Person to person, and that mentor role or a father figure or any of those are good. If those tools aren't in place, you can immerse yourself in a whole world of experiences that you garner through someone else's experiences, and those are generally found in books. I know society has changed over the last 20, 30, 40 years, so podcasts become another avenue, right? Some people to me say today, hey, I just don't like reading, I can't get into it. Cool, fine. However you get your information, maybe it's a book you read, maybe it's a podcast you take in, maybe you find somebody out there that just has a point of view or set of beliefs or set of core values that you aspire to. Immerse yourself in their book or their information and find that connection, right? The great news is our society's expanded drastically with technology, right? There's so many sources of information. I just caution people, if you go into the virtual world, make sure you've got a qualified source of information that's truly coming from a source, not a repackaged, manipulated set of information that's being marketed.
And there's a higher threat of that online, obviously, compared to a written book. Somebody's gone through the effort of writing that and getting it published.
Yeah, that's right.
You alluded to their early life, sort of on the farm, small town, 28 people in your graduating class. And you've just told me there's 85 people that work for your business. So that's just 3 times as big as your a graduating class.
Right.
How was that for you growing up there? Where was that?
Yeah, great question. So Bellevue, Iowa is just south of Dubuque, in the northeast corner of the state. So where Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin come together in this tri-state region, Bellevue sits right on the Mississippi River. I grew up on a farm about 10 miles outside of Bellevue. And so how was I formed? What were my formative years? My formative years were packaged with a lot of hard work and discipline. I share the experience that I've literally been in the workforce since I was 4 years old. And people say, no, on a farm, you're really not doing work at 4 years old. I assure you, we were put to work doing manual labor and other things that just needed to be done, right? The benefit of a farm is you become a unit and you have a bigger cause very quickly. It's not about you. You learn very quickly it's not about you and what you want to do on any given day. It's about what do we need to do to be successful on the farm to keep things moving. We had One of my dad's favorite sayings growing up on the farm was, "I would just hate for you kids to run out of things to do." And so what that looked like was we had 70 to 80 head of dairy cows that milked twice a day. We had 400 head of feeder pigs that we raised and sold every month. Crop rotation. So the point being, there was always something to do year round. The one day of school we hated the most were snow days, Matt. Snow days? Yeah, snow days, Matt.
It's supposed to be everybody's favorite.
It's supposed to be. But for us, snow day meant, oh, you're not going to school today. You get to stay home. But because there's so much snow and it's so cold, inevitably things are breaking on the farm. Things need to be tended to. Things need to be taken care of. Snow needs to be moved. It was all these extra layers of work that on most days for most people is, oh, I'm inside putting my feet up. No, it was just extra worse work for us. So I would say I gained my sense of work ethic and discipline from those years on the farm. And it has paid massive dividends for me over the course of time.
Yeah, the natural next question is obviously what the correlation to business. It sounds obvious, right?
Yeah.
But how does that look for you?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So very early on in life, I figured out, yes, I want to be a business owner. And so growing up on a farm, being on a farm, you are a business owner. You live it every day. You see it. You're involved. You are involved in every facet of what's going on. And I very quickly discerned nothing against farming. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't the path I wanted to go. So I was always looking for a business of my own that I could own, participate in, grow. To extend the metaphor, you plant the seeds, you get to watch them grow, mature, and come to fruition. And, over time, there are varying levels of harvest along the way. So just always enjoyed being around business and wanting to be a business owner.
With the work ethic piece, I think something that the sort of grind, hustle, no rest, no balance culture is very big.
Sure.
I guess the question is, to get to the level of success that you've earned here, is balance a real word?
Yeah,
for
great.
A period of time.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, and this is one we have to work through more and more over the last 5, 10, 15 years. I certainly appreciate and respect balance. Relative to growing a business, starting a career, planning a foundation, even if it's not for a business owner, in any profession or career, I believe there is a setup launch phase in all of those. It just has to happen. There's a heavy lift. There's a building a book of business. There's a getting your name out there. There's a I have to connect with people and grow my sphere of influence and my reach. And so we work with a lot of our young people today to let them know, while it looks like or you're aspiring to balance, really it's an all-in approach. An all-in approach meaning how do you ingrain and overlap your personal time, your business or work time, your social time, your connection time. As an example, maybe you're in the office 8 to 5. Maybe you're with clients during that time. Maybe there's a social event that evening that you go to. Maybe you've got things with the kids from 7 to 9 o'clock, and then maybe you're doing some email at 9 o'clock at night. There's no, hey, 8 to 5 is when I do this, 5 to 8 is when I do this, 8 to 10 is when I do this. It all comes together, right? So we call it the all-in approach. How are you balancing it all in together and getting done what needs to be done on each front in a given section of time or a given season? Growing up on the farm, we learned very quickly when the sun shines, you make hay, right? So there's certain periods where you're just naturally extra busy, and then other times it's not as busy, and you can work in some of the other things you need to do. So I think the balance that people look for is really more akin in these settings to an all-in approach. How do I put myself all in for what I'm doing at that time and be present for what I'm doing?
With that all-in approach, which I think you're right, I think a lot of advice about balance is coming from a place where I've maybe already been through my hair falling out stage and stuff like that. I do still, obviously, I believe that there's got to be it can't come at the expense of your health.
At all.
There's going to be periods where, I've got lots of time to get stuff done here, and there's going to be periods where I just need to not put up a 0 here. How have you managed that? I guess earlier on, you're 47 now, is that correct?
47,
and
that's
looking
right.
absolutely fantastic, by the way.
Thank you.
Tell me the secrets of the hairline. But when you were younger, let's take it back to, you've got 3 kids, very young.
Yep.
The businesses you're still in, the pedal to the metal, excuse me.
Yes.
How was that looking for you there? How did you maintain?
Yeah.
Or did you not at times?
Yeah, no.
What did it look like?
Kristen and I always worked the best we could to maintain all fronts, right? The all-in approach on all fronts. And so let's use health as a very specific example. So quickly, I see it in our profession with business owners all the time. It's one of the first things that can be pushed to the side. Oh, I'm busy. I'm on an airplane. I'm going here. I'm doing this for a week. And that stuff gets pushed to the side very quickly. For me, a successful strategy early on in my career was I would literally take my day for an entire week, and I'd break it down in 1 hour blocks. So I had it mapped out, midnight to 11 p.m. / midnight on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe it was 5 o'clock in the morning on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That became my 30-minute or 1 hour time block to focus on health. That's where I was getting my workouts in. That's where on Monday, I've got a half hour of running and cardio, and I got 15 minutes of body resistance weight. Wednesday is purely strength training. I'm going to be at the gym for an hour. Friday is whatever regiment. And so I would purposefully each week schedule those things that I wanted to make sure got done that were, we talk about this balance of urgent versus important. I tried to schedule all the important things and allow the urgent things to manifest themselves and deal with them as they came. And by the way, the sooner I got it done in the morning, whether it was getting my workout in, taking time to pray and read the Bible, taking time to read 15 minutes for my own development, when I got those things done early in the morning, then I could let the other urgent items from the day come to me, knowing that I'd taken care of the important things in the morning. And oddly enough, if you get an hour or two each day of the important things scheduled, accomplished, boy, you feel really good. And then you build on that for a week, and then you build week 2, and then you build a month, and then you've built a year, and now the habits are really, really strong.
Yeah, I think that especially with health, if you have let it slip, if you have let it go out of control, the initial bit, like where you're talking about in a year, I feel really strong and this is amazing. That first month is like, this ain't fun.
Right.
This is kicking my ass.
I hate this.
It's actually making the day a little harder at the beginning.
Yep.
You mentioned there about Monday, Wednesday, Friday. How important is it to be effective in that time rather than this is the perfect workout, exactly what I wanted, and now I'm absolutely flying here?
Some days it ain't pretty, right? So my routine today is 21 workouts a month.
Okay, love it.
30 minutes, okay? I'm not there to be in the gym for 2 hours. I can't put 2 hours in the gym in a given day. If I can do 30 minutes a day, 21 times a month, that keeps me on track. And what I use for intentionality in that time is, okay, today's purely cardio. Tomorrow I'll do strength training. Day 3 is yoga. And guess what? Day 4 might be another cardio day, but it's really a rest, recovery, walking day.
Yeah.
If I go walk for half an hour on that 4th day after I've done 3 other days, I still feel good about that. And I've kept the momentum going. So I go back to this concept of some days it ain't pretty, but it's done, right? And more importantly than, hey, I ran 5 miles, burned 1,484 calories, things I'm not going to do at 47 years old, by the way.
Yeah.
I've let that go, right?
Yes.
Those days are past me. But I feel really good about that 4th day. I feel really good about I've done 4 in a row. Breather tomorrow. By the way, I'm on an airplane tomorrow, so I know I'm not working out then, and I've built it into my plan. So just get it done, even if it's not pretty, because you still keep that spiral, that upward spiral going the right way.
Just spoke about this yesterday. Yeah, just spoke about this yesterday. Have you had moments where it's like, I'm clawing it back here?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yes.
The alarm goes off.
Brilliant.
I've read all the books,
Yeah.
Extreme Ownership, Jocko. Alarm goes off, get your ass out of bed, get going. And I'm like, I don't want to. But okay, this is workout 13 of the month. If I get it done today, then I've got it behind me. Get it done this morning. I'll feel good the rest of the day. I can have a cookie that Kristen just made when I get home tonight. If I get the work, so I bait myself, right? Even with the habits, I still have to turn the screw, flip the switch, and just go. But the more the habits are there, the easier it becomes.
Yeah, I think having that longer term view and it connected to your core values makes it not easier, but it's going to get done.
More habitual,
right? Like you're saying, at 47, you've been an athlete before, you're still investing in your health now, and just yesterday it's like, fuck, I don't want to do it. Like, that's not really going away.
It's not.
I also heard you mention there, which I think is an important point, like, you've read all the books, you've done all this, but you said a couple times there, just get it done.
Mm-hmm.
How much of it is that? Like, there's not a perfect hack, there's not a perfect workout, there's not a perfect diet, it's just get it done.
Yeah, use what you have with the time and the space and circumstances that you have. Sometimes when I'm on the road, the workout looks like, all right, I'm getting out of bed, I'll do a yoga routine that I've got on my computer, and then I'm going to add 100 push-ups to it.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I did something. I moved closer to my goal. Would I'd rather have a full bench and the whole stack there and a full complement of dumbbells and, I'm sweating profusely and everything hurts? Yeah, I would, but I don't. So for the day, the yoga works, the push-ups work, some sit-ups, eat well, and off I go with my day.
Yeah.
Don't let perfect be the enemy of progress.
Love that. I love that. I say it's better to have an actual something than a perfect nothing.
Correct.
Right. You mentioned cookies there, and you mentioned Kristen.
Yeah.
Let's start with Kristen.
Yeah.
I'm sure the cookies are great.
Yeah.
I think, as I said to you, this is part of the, like, what is an example man? We mentioned family already to you there. Being a dad, being a grandson and a son, a massive part of being a man for me, I believe, is being a partner and hopefully a husband. Mm-hmm. How did you guys meet? Because I think that's exciting.
Yeah.
And then, let's go with that first.
Yeah. So we met under the most romantic and normal of all social conditions. We met at a bar in Des Moines.
Here we go.
Yes. So it was actually kind of funny. We both started the same day at Iowa State, graduated the same day, never ran into each other at Iowa State. And she's fully convinced that's because we would have never gotten along with our college selves and who we were at that time. So about a year and a half, 2 years after moving to Des Moines, ran into each other at a bar here in town called Drink, for those of us old enough to have gone there. And she was actually, this is actually pretty funny, she was actually on a date that night with some other guy, not me, right? And so we get talking, we get chatting it up, and one thing led to another, and we exchanged phone numbers and then connected from there ever since. So,
wow.
More to the story, but we'll save that for another time.
Yeah. Do you believe that she's right about the college thing? Obviously, you didn't know her when she was at college, but did you know you when you were at college?
Yeah. And I was 100% in the get into here, get out of here mode. Mm-hmm. I was at Iowa State from 1996 to 2000. And so for me, a big deal was getting done in 4 years.
Right.
So everything was focused around getting my engineering degree wrapped up. Mm-hmm. I was playing soccer for the club up there, other places. I had a part-time job. I was running around with my hair on fire, sleeping 3 and 4 hours a night.
Right.
So no bueno. I wasn't going to have time for other stuff.
There's that balance again.
Yeah, that balance, right? It was completely out of balance during college, which I fully knew and admitted, but I got out of there and got on with things from there.
You've got 3 wonderful kids.
Thank you. 2
that I know well, and 1 I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
How have you created the relationship? Like, meeting someone's great, and that first year, it's like, it's almost not real because you're so infatuated with this other person. And then after that period, it dies down. It's like, okay, we got to try and build a life here.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are disillusioned with what that looks like. How have you managed to foster that relationship to be one that has created not only harmony for you and her, but 3 magical kids as well?
Well, thank you. So there's a lot there. First thing I would share is She was always very good about this, and we committed this early in our marriage and relationship. Never go to bed mad at each other. Okay, so if we had something on our minds or something that needed to be discussed, we would try to get it addressed and get it taken care of so it didn't fester and carry on, right? Little things can become big things if they're not talked about, addressed, and spoken to. So that was always a little thing along the way. The other thing, as our marriage and our family grew and evolved, and all these other things, as you alluded to earlier, were going on, everything's kind of piling on, I had to learn, be present at whatever I'm doing. Meaning, if I'm at the office, I'm at the office. Mm-hmm. If I'm with her, I'm with her. If I'm reading bedtime stories to the kids, I'm reading bedtime stories to the kids. If we're out to dinner, we're out to dinner. So I had to work very hard to be mentally, emotionally, physically, completely present in whatever I was doing. And so a little example of what does that mean? What does that look like? What does that look like? And this is just kind of her and my thing, but I love it because it works for us. During COVID, everybody had something else that was starting to shape up because all of our routine was blown up. We were home. We could do things. We couldn't do things. And her and I got on to doing jigsaw puzzles. Mm-hmm. And so during COVID, we had a lot of free time on our hands, so we would start doing puzzles. Well, coming out of COVID, her and I still intentionally find time to just sit down, her and I turn on 80s music and do puzzles, right? And so I know what's important to her, and part of her time that her and I invest together in each other is doing that, right? We don't go for a walk because we don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. We don't. We still go out to dinner. We have date night. We do those things. But for us, we found that thing, right, where we can just be present with each other. And then inevitably, while we're doing that, we're talking about family stuff, and then we're talking about, in a couple of weeks we got to do this, and hey, we got to think about this halfway through the year, and what's next Christmas season. I mean, these conversations just come up because we're both intentionally present with what we're doing.
I love that.
That's what worked for us. Others, it may be different things.
Again, I think with this, just take the cell phone, for example. There's so much distraction from that. And obviously you've got a young boy that's about to head to college, but even when I go into, when I was a substitute teacher, I'll be in class and kids are trying to listen to music and do work at the same time. Or you'll go into a small business and you'll see the kids at the checkout with the earpod in. Mm-hmm. And then that just becomes an extension into a relationship. So I think managing your phone is a massive piece. Do you guys, you have that? You ever thought about that, or do you manage that yourself?
Yeah, good question. So as it relates to Kristen and I, and then I'll also share it in framework of the kids. Yeah. And us as parents. So for her and I, naturally, when we're doing puzzles, the phones are off over on the counter or away. Yeah, maybe we get a text, maybe we got something coming in, but we're really focused in just doing the puzzle together, and we're not easily distracted, right? If we get a phone call, we'll take it. Maybe something's going on. The harder issue becomes with kids 25, 20 and under. So much of their life has been formed, immersed in, gravitated to, connected to, whatever you want to call it, the digital world. Maybe that's their phone. Maybe it's an AirPod in their ear. Maybe it's whatever future sources of information flow are going to come their way. I think it's a real challenge. I think it's something that each person needs to think about and identify. How do I disconnect from the virtual world and stay connected to the natural world intentionally, right? I'm not saying it's some big plague. It's part of technology advancement, right? I remember the example my grandmother saying to me, if you use that calculator, you're never going to learn how to add and subtract and multiply and divide, right? And we all kind of laugh at that today because we can all do that. We still haven't lost those skills, but we don't have to do those things. So that's just going to look different today and 20 years from now. And so I think just being aware of that, right? If I can just talk to my kids in the frame of awareness of, hey, I understand you want to text your friends or you want to, connect with them some way. I said, try calling them. Have a person-to-person communication. In the business world, we work very hard to drive home the point of face-to-face communication, relationship building, one-to-one, and connecting with people. Inevitably, somebody will come to my office and say, hey, Jerrod, I'm really struggling with the client on this, and they said this and I said that. In fact, this happened 2 days ago, and I said, what did they say when you talked to them? Oh, we haven't done that yet. We've just been trading emails. Okay? And so I think it's vitally important teaching people how to connect with people one-to-one, face-to-face to build relationships. Always has been, continues to be, and always will be fundamental to just personal relationships and development.
A couple of words you said there. Awareness was one of like, how much am I maybe using this phone, or what situation am I in right now? And then with your workouts and again with your phone use, it's intentional. Planning out your day was very intentional. A lot of the men I speak to, a lot of men my age, even they don't at the moment plan their day. So you're in my opinion, you're kind of at the whim of your day.
Yes.
Where would you start with that? You said you just sort of that hour blocks that you set out. Is that the process that you still follow today?
Yeah. Obviously, my my routine is habitual now and ingrained. But if I had to go back and start again, I would literally take. I don't care if it's a digital tool you can use to do this. I don't care if it's as old school as lined paper, a pen, pencil, and you just map it out. If you can take control of the 168 hours, I think I did the math right, in your week, and be intentional, it does a couple of things. One, you feel like you're in control. Often I find people that say, man, I just can't get ahead of this. I just can't do this. It stems from a feeling of a lack of control. When you start to take control over your schedule, you not only feel like and know that you've got the control for what you're slotting in. Yeah, you've got to go to work. Yeah, you got to put those other things in there. But you start to block in the things that are important to you. So you've got the control. So there's some intentionality. But then the awareness, like you alluded to, you start to realize, wait a minute, if I work 40 hours a week, there's 168 in the week. What am I doing with the other 128? I'll let you sleep 8 hours a day. Take that out. You're still left with a whole bunch of hours, right? So you start to get awareness of where is the time being invested. Treat it like a bank account. What am I getting for return on the hours I want return on? Take the rest and schedule the rest where you want it.
I like that. Treat it like a bank account. I think then you realize that actually there's not so much time for you to get really good at something. I think there's a lot of options now, and I've struggled with this. If you're someone that's got a bit about you, it's like, oh, I could do anything. I could do this, I could do that. And then the options are spread too thin. And I think, again, almost with the quick, instant gratification that's surrounded the culture, Western culture, people do a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, and they end up going really nowhere.
Right.
With your business, has there been moments where you looked sideways and thought, oh, should I be doing that? Or have you always been like, no, we're going this way, my team's going this way, this is where I want to go?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think you need to frame it in two different distinct discussions, okay? The decision to be in business or dedicate to a sales career or dedicate to a craft, a profession, whatever it is, okay? Once that decision is made on that's what I'm going to do, then there becomes this overarching drive, direction, idea, whatever you want to call it, towards I'm going to learn and I'm going to master that craft. I'm going to learn and I'm going to become best in class at that. So now that requires deep study, extra work, homework, reading, mentorship, talking to others. So you make a decision to participate in that arena. At some point you get to, I'm going to become best in class. Once you've gotten to that level, that kind of sets the framework around that area, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Now, once you're in there, I'll use this as an example. In our business, we represent about 115 different manufacturers. there are a lot of manufacturers we say no to because it doesn't fit our core market, our core principles, our core way of doing business for our customers. It would take us to a space that's not adjacent to what we're doing. It's fringe or directionally away from what we're doing. So we say no to other good opportunities so that we can continue to say yes to great opportunities that fit our culture, our identity, and that framework that we've decided this is what we're going to become best in class at. It's a little bit of good to great, right? If you take some of the elements of good to great, they talk a lot about know what your core value proposition is, what you do best in class in your market, and focus on that. So we want to keep doing, from a business perspective, what we know we're really good at and what we're here for, and the things that don't line up with that, we say no to and let go away. And I think that not only transcends across business, I think that transcends across, you know what? Maybe I am a good cardio athlete and I like to run. I like that, and that fits my body profile, my style, and I get my joy from that. Keep doing that.
Yeah.
Right? Don't stop doing that because I need to be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
You be the best version of you that you can be.
That's what I was just about to say to you. That as you were talking, I was like, yeah, and that transcends beyond that and into health and fitness. You see it with like so many supplements, and there's this workout, and there's this, and there's that, and it's like really knowing what to say no to is going to keep you on a track where, okay, these are just like the 2 or 3 things that I can do consistently. Yeah. Let me just hammer those out.
Yeah.
With that, thinking about the singular focus or building your career, your boy is about to head off to college.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exciting times.
Very.
What do you foresee for, boys his age, young men his age, as the biggest opportunity of today? And then what are your biggest fears for, let's say, that age group, honestly, almost like 18 to 30, really?
Yeah, it's, you and I were talking about this a little bit earlier. It's a brave new world in many regards. But as you read and you reflect, it's always been a brave new world, generation to generation, okay? Technology changes. A lot of things that we have access to day-to-day change. Our world has shrunk in the last 20, 30 years because of technology, so there's so many more opportunities, right? So the more things change, the more they stay the same. I don't know what song that was. Somebody certainly had it in the 70s, I'm sure. But for young men today, going to the second part of the question, if you have a very established sense of self, your principles, your values, your identity, what you stand for, what you will allow into your life and who you will allow to speak into it, versus what you will not allow in, what you know is wrong or not aligning to who you are as a person. I think the better sense that a young person has of that in their life, boy, oh boy, they've got a really good toolkit to step into the unknown, right? Because now it's not, I have to listen to everything in the world and what the world tells me. It's, I am hearing it all, I'm seeing it all, I'm observing, but I'm running it through the framework of what I want to be and what I want the world to be that I'm pursuing and journeying through. Okay, so that strong sense of self and that strong sense of values make me very excited for young people today. If people can identify that and have that, then you can take the new technology of today. We can talk about AI. Is it good? Is it bad? Is the world going to end because of it? Do we all need universal basic income? Are all the jobs going to go away? All these things, right? Like we can sit here for days, hitting our head against the wall and scaring ourselves. But if you've got that foundation, now you can take those tools that are available to you and you can craft some pretty cool things, right? I'm excited for the young entrepreneurs and business people coming into the world coupled with technology. I think they're going to do some fascinating things. The two sides of that coin of quote unquote kids these days being on their phones all the time, they're immersed in technology. They're very comfortable with it. Nothing about AI scares them. It's become second nature, right? So they're going to take this and they're going to do things with it that frankly people of my cohort and generation have no concept of. Yeah. So I go back to exciting times, lots of change, but that's how it's been for hundreds of years in society, right? I'd rather have this than the bubonic plague and 2/3 of the world dying, right?
Yeah.
Those were terrible times.
I'll take it.
These are exciting times.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Survival of the fittest. I had my appendix out when I was 16, so I'd be gone.
Me too.
I'd be gone.
19 for me.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks very much. Speaking of Tegan, gifted footballer, especially when he was younger.
Thank you.
And this is more now, that was your opportunities and maybe fears for him as a son. This is more dialing into your emotional bandwidth as a father, and how did you build that and where did it come from? So obviously he was scouted at a young age and went down to sport in Kansas City. Every boy's dream.
Yep.
Then the dream ends.
Yeah.
Right? Which it does for millions of boys all over the country.
Yep.
And all over the world.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's stereotypically is the word, but men of your generation, not that you're super old, but it would be common to be like, oh, they don't have the emotional range or intelligence to deal necessarily with a situation like that. A boy coming back, I'm assuming, is really disheartened. How was that for you, seeing your boy go through that? Because I've been through it as a boy. It seems wild.
Yeah.
And then how did you manage that? And even more, how did you build the skills to manage that?
Yeah, so I'll speak to it purely from my experience observing it, and then just things I tried to convey to him along the way. And boy, I've learned a lot through the process.
And how old was he here? Just for people listening.
11 and 12 years old.
11 and 12.
Yeah. And so at the time, we lived in Des Moines, still continue to live in Des Moines, and we got an apartment in Kansas City, and so we were supporting him. And, one of us would go down with him for the week, and, we had all those family dynamics going on. So you asked about, hey, what type of tools do you give? Well, that's part of what we as a family were experiencing, right? We were living those parts of it with them. At the outset, I think Kristen and I tried very hard, and to your question, it is very difficult with your own kids when they go through success and challenge and defeat and the whole cycle, right? Because you're emotionally invested. We talked about earlier thousands of years of human development and protecting the species and the offspring and all these things like start to come out of you, right, as a parent. And it's weird because none of it's logical. It's all emotional. And you start to realize this is all part of generation upon generation of people looking out for their kids. That's how people have continued to thrive and run around the earth, right? And so you kind of got to face that and deal with that a little bit. But in simple terms, we tried to be very grounded with him when he was young. He and I'd have these conversations in the car. Dude, this is fun. Make it fun. Make sure it's fun, okay? Because this is 11, 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And when it becomes not fun, that's where some hard work comes in. And along the way here, bud, just don't be the first one they kick out. We tried to set an expectation and a barometer for him that kept it fun. Keep learning, keep growing in this environment. Get everything you can out of this environment because at some point it will end. Whether you're 30, 25, 18, 14, I don't care. At some point it ends, so get everything you can out of the experience. And just don't be the first one they kick out. And so when he saw somebody in that environment be asked to leave because of behavior issues, nothing to do with their on-field performance, I congratulated him. Congratulations. You weren't the first one kicked out in your age group. Now you're playing with house money, right? Set the expectation of keep it fun, play with house money. It's all upside as much as we could at that age.
Yeah.
Now, if he's 20 years old or 24 and it's a different environment, it's a different conversation.
Yeah, of course.
But at 11 and 12 years old, as an adult man, I had to figure out what does he see, recognize, experience, and feel as an 11 and 12-year-old. It'd been a long time since I was 11 and 12 years old. I don't know what that is. You see and you learn very quickly that your frame of reference as an adult is drastically different than you were as a child. And that's a kind of a wild framework to go through. Yeah. Right? Because as adults, we just think like adults. And we think that kids see the world that way. They don't. Their world's drastically different. And I had to relearn to see the world through the eyes, emotions, feelings of 11, 12, 13-year-olds, which is hard.
When he came back, what was the support that you offered him? What was that moment like for him, and what was that moment like for you as well?
Yeah, so he certainly he had every range of emotion, from sad to pissed off to all these things, and so just tried to coach along the way, not being a jerk about it, but I said, hey, harsh reality, my friend, my son, the world doesn't care about you and I. And I said, I don't mean to sound harsh, but the world doesn't care what you and I want, right? And so we don't get to dictate to the world the outcome. We have to read the situation and adapt to it. So it was just coaching along the way, and then thankfully we couldn't have done it without coaches at Sporting Iowa that helped him every step of the way. They had vastly different life experiences and could share things and see things in our son that, frankly, I as his father couldn't see.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. Too close to it. I had too many things I'd seen and experienced with them. I had to separate myself and let the coaches do what they do.
Yeah.
Crazy thing, when you hire a coach that's a specialty in an area and they give you information to help make you better, in general, we should listen to it because they're trying to help you. They're trying to get you from where you are to where they know you can be. So the big distinction I think that came up over time was I had to relearn as a parent, when I view my children, I see them for the people they can become and grow into over time, and that's my perception of who they are. A good coach tells you exactly where you are, what they see on the field that given day, and then gives you information to force you to grow into that point. So I think there's a little message in here. The gap between how parents view children and where a good coach sees a child and tries to help them get to. Parents are measuring potential and viewing kids through the framework of potential. Coaches view you through the framework of actuality on the given day. And there's a gap there.
Okay.
And as a parent, I had to learn, Jerrod, you got to see the gap and get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
You think some men maybe are detrimental in as far as not getting out of the way?
Yes. I think in general, hey, I'm successful in XYZ. Insert whatever you want on that line. I was a college athlete. I did this. I did that. I own this business. I do the whatever it is. That clouds our perspective on they're just a kid. They got a whole ball of emotions and crazy things in their brain that, they're thinking, feeling, experiencing, and we're in two different worlds. You got to get out of the way and let them be a kid and let them process it.
On that note, you do a bit of coaching.
A little bit.
You do a bit of coaching.
I
I
do.
think a massive part, again, for me of being a man is service. Giving back where you can to those that need it in your area of expertise. You've done that for a lot of boys that aren't your boy. How did you why? And then how did you have the time when you're doing this?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Why? Because Kristen told me I needed to.
Yeah?
Yeah. My wife, as I was growing this business, our kids were young. I go back to, I would sit at home on the weekends and I'm cranking stuff out on the laptop at the kitchen table and getting things done. And the kids are starting to play soccer. And she says, you need to go coach for a couple of reasons. One, you enjoy it. Two, your kids are around it. Three, it'll make you turn that stupid laptop off on the weekends and go focus on something else. So as with most things in her and my marriage, she was right. And that's really the why of how did it get started, okay? Now, why did it continue beyond that?
Yeah.
I enjoy it. For me, it has always been fun. Certainly, it's one of the ways I give back, time, mentorship, perspective. If I can bring something to a group of guys that's in that teenage years and figuring it out and do I like doing this, I've always believed, for me, soccer was fun. It should be fun for the kids that are playing it to pursue it whatever level they want to. And if I can help lend to some of that and bring some other experiences in around it, that's a great offering that feels good. But more importantly, I had fun doing it.
I had fun doing it,
right? It was different. It made me get out of the office. It made me focus on other things. It's interesting, the coaching courses and sitting around and listening to other coaches coach, watching their style, how they do things, those were all elements of things I could take from that environment and bring back to the business environment. Turns out leadership is a lot of coaching. So if you can take ideas and get those into the minds of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old kids and then see it produced on the field, learning those techniques, learning those things that go into it, boy, it makes you a better business leader too. So again, all part of the virtuous cycle to spool it all up.
That was service. Another big one for me is mindfulness. Mindfulness and gratitude sort of go in together for me. I heard you earlier about saying being intentional about time to pray, time with the Bible. And you grew up in a small town with a church upbringing. How does that translate into mindfulness and gratitude to you? Is that your avenue of that? Obviously, there's many different ones. And why is that important for a man in general? Yes, very important. Part of my daily routine is to basically sit and take stock of and account of all the blessings in our life, right? Daily, you said?
Daily. Daily. What am I thankful for, right? Who are the people in my life I'm thankful for? What are the experiences I'm having that I'm thankful for? That's all part of the reflection of the day on, what may look like a challenge is actually a blessing, right? And I try to work very hard with our kids to instill that, look, based on where we are, what we do, the things we get to do in life, we are highly blessed. Like, look at this in perspective of the entire world, right? If you see how what's going on in the entire world and how we fit into that or how that aligns, we are all highly blessed. Right, in the United States, in the Western world,
just to be born
in
England, to be born in America,
in these environments, right? War is not at our doorstep, Matt. I'm not looking out this window wondering, is someone coming around with an armored vehicle to take the building over?
Yeah,
there are places in the world where that is literally happening right now, and happens every day. So, I digress a little bit, but that daily routine of take stock, be grateful for. Take account of what you're grateful for, right? Because it really puts it all into perspective. And hopefully my kids continue to pick up on that and we continue to relay that because I think that's important in life because it just gives you a bigger sense of there's a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah.
Right? Going back to the phones and the 24-hour news cycle, we're constantly inundated in life now about what's bad, who's making what mistakes, who's a jerk, who's nice, who's not. Yeah, there's not good stuff going on right now, but there is a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I think if we don't slow down, take stock, turn the digital world off, tap back into the natural world and understand, you know what? Just the breeze blowing through those trees today is even kind of a gift.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, right? I mean, it's a little thing, but
it doesn't have to be something grand, or the smaller you can make it, almost the better it is.
Right. Or, hey, you know what? The weather's nice today. It's sunny.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a walk and enjoy 30 minutes of just turning off the noise. And so there's a lot of ways to find gratitude, I think.
One of the sayings that I love is, you said there, you can find a lot of good is like a family comes into town and they stop at the gas station. They're like, oh, wow, this town looks great. What are the people like here? And the clerk says, well, what's it like where you come from? And they're like, there's cheating and lying and stealing and people aren't very nice. The kids don't play on the street. And then the clerk says, yeah, you'll find that here. And then, the next day someone else comes in and says, wow, this is a lovely town. What are the people like here? Well, what's it like where you come from? Oh, it's brilliant. So harmonious. Kids are playing, neighbors share everything. It's a really lovely culture and community to be in. And the clerk says, yeah, you'll find that here. Right?
It's true.
So I think that's almost being intentional about finding blessings and gratitude is essential to getting the best out of yourself.
Yeah.
To getting the best out of yourself. And why would you not? Right? What's the other side?
Right. At the end of the day, life's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? We all get to wake up each day and craft the next day. And so there's a lot of value in that.
Yeah. Right. If you're somebody listening to this, you probably have the opportunity to create the life that you want.
Yeah, for sure.
If you put the work in.
Yeah, that's right.
In the direction that you want to do it.
Yeah.
What is your biggest regret in your life, if you have one, across any sphere? It can be business, personal, opportunity you missed out.
Yeah. I read that question and I thought,
Yeah.
this isn't a flippant answer. I don't have one. And the reason I don't have one is I'm looking to tomorrow. I'm not looking to yesterday. Certainly in life, there's opportunities I probably walked past that I didn't know I was walking past the opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As you get older, I think you have a better ability to recognize opportunities when they present themselves. How can I grow today? How can I put in some effort and provide some service here that maybe doesn't return right away, but boy, it's got a long-lasting impact, right? So I don't have a lot of regrets looking back because I want to continue to focus on how can I serve today? How can I be better today? How can I be intentional about getting just a little bit better today? And just keep creating, the next moments and the next days. One of the things I have around the office and people kind of chuckle is, Jerrod, how you doing today? I said, you know what? I'm glad you asked. It's the best day of my life so far.
Yeah. I love that one from you. And then we're not landing rockets on the moon.
Right.
I like that one. I like that one at the fields. I'm like, oh, do you know what? Maybe that session wasn't so bad.
Did they have fun? Did they learn something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Talking about that, mate, that leads us nicely to this next. I'm not trying to rush you through it at all because I know Bryn is a freshman, sophomore? Freshman.
Yeah.
So 4 years.
Yeah.
And then we're looking at the next stage of Jerrod and Kristen. It's almost emptiness. It's like semi-emptiness. They'll be at college and they'll come back.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to there? Do you have any apprehensions about that?
Yeah, good question. This is a topic her and I around the puzzle table are talking about more and more. It's a fun, exciting time of life because I don't know if every couple gets to this point, but for us, it's, man, that phase of life has been very cool. We've enjoyed it. Everything from Kyan in dance and show choir, Tegan in soccer, hanging with his buddies, Bryn in soccer and doing the things she does with her friends and all those activities. And then at some point you start to get the sense of that season of life has been fun, but coming to an end will be okay too, right? It's not that you regret it or wish you weren't doing it. It's just you come to accept the season that it is, and that there's a finality to it to some extent. And so it starts the conversation. Hey, what are we going to do with all of our free time, right? What are we going to do when we don't have to be here or here or here?
Yeah.
And you start to have those conversations around, well, A, we're going to do more puzzles. Okay.
Yeah.
B, but hey, if we want to go somewhere for 3 days, hop in the car and drive around, we can do it. And we don't have to be here for a certain thing on this time at this day. And, that schedule flexibility starts to open up. So I think, in summary, for us, it's created a whole new set of conversations and a whole new level of excitement about, hey, what do we want to go do next? Right? And we've got a list of ideas and things. And as with all things in life, we're going to try it, adjust, see what fits us, and have a lot of fun doing it. Yeah. So we're excited, I guess, is the
I could tell. What a great partner to jump into that phase of life with. Kristen will definitely keep you busy.
For sure.
Keep you moving.
For sure.
Top 3 habits in the life that you've built for yourself, for your family. If you can, dial it back down to 3, not just 3 habits, but you think 3 habits that are like, these are something that I know have got me here and something that I will continue to look forward to doing.
Yeah.
That you feel like probably be beneficial for nearly every man.
Number 1, each year I write a list of goals, and those goals are broken down to 4 or 5 key areas. Number 1, spiritual goals. Number 2, family goals. Number 3, health goals. Number 4, financial goals. And then number 5, personal development.
So goals almost align with your core values.
100%.
Your sections that you split it up to.
It's 1 page, right? Each year I look at, okay, how did I do on those last year? What do I want to continue to do or enhance, right? What level was I at, and how do I progress and make it a little bit better? And then which ones just don't make sense for me anymore? Something, we go through seasons of life, things change.
Yeah.
Me running 5 miles a day, 4 days a week isn't going to happen.
It's not
going to happen. Okay. So that shouldn't be one of my goals, as an example. However, getting 21 workouts in per month in a 30-day, 31-day calendar month still makes sense for me for 30 minutes, right? So that makes sense. I've had to adjust those over time, though, right? So going back to the list, number one is that list of goals in specific areas of life that I want to grow in. I think it's vitally important because when I wake up and say, oh, I do not want to get out of bed today. No, you're on 13.
Right.
You've got a window of 12 days left here to get over the line. Let's get this done, right? It gives you that little accountability to yourself. Number two, taking time each day to think about and reflect on the things I'm grateful for. More than anything, I think that has helped just give balance and clarity because at times we all, I'm sure, get there with, man, all the bullets are flying at me.
Yep.
The world's going crazy. How do I keep control? Are things ever going to get, all these thoughts, we all deal with them at some level and to some extent. And I think just having that 10 minutes, 5 minutes, I don't care.
Yeah.
Carve out some time where you list mentally or on paper the things you're grateful for. Boy, it goes a long way to really helping show things are pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? So the gratitude list on a daily basis, I think, is vitally important. And then number three, I would go back to the intentionality of being present. How can I be present with what I'm doing right now? Like right now, the email inbox is closed. The phone is silenced. I'm enjoying this conversation. It's great information back and forth. When I go home tonight, Kristen and I will do a puzzle and talk a little bit, and then I'll get packed, and we'll head to the airport tomorrow, Tegan and I, and go to the showcase in Vegas and hang out and have boys. So every step of the way today, try to stay intentional in the moment that I'm in. And I think if we do those things, for me and my life experience, if I'm doing those things on a regular basis, boy, things just seem to kind of stay between the ditches.
Yeah.
You know?
Stay between the digits. I like man plans, God laughs. So like, let's just keep this direction if we can, you know? A couple of questions on that with your, obviously the gratitude is daily and being intentional about putting time down there. Question one is going to be, when you write that list of goals, how often do you revisit that throughout a year? And then question two, is there any, you said you've worked really hard at that intentional piece. Is there any like little hacks or things that you've done that have really helped you with that?
Yeah. So yeah, the goal list, I review it monthly.
Monthly.
Each month I'm going to look at how am I doing, right? Tracking and adjusting. It's important. When I sit down for a given year, things don't go the way I plan throughout the course of an entire year, every year. That's just not practical. That's not life, right?
Yeah.
And so if I'm reviewing those goals monthly, I've got a sense, where am I on track? Where am I off track? But more importantly, hey, what are some things that have come my way that I need to adjust for?
Yeah.
Because as an example, 21 workouts a month, every month is a good goal. When I was 40, no problem. 41, no problem. 42, I start throwing my back out. So am I going to, Matt, do 21 workouts in 30 days with a tweaked back for 7 to 10 days of that month? Not going to happen. Right? So I had to learn how to build some rest in. I had to learn how to listen to my body. I had to learn how to, what you talked about earlier, 21 workouts in a month period, that's the goal, the perfect. But hey, if I got to rest for a week or fight off an illness and I back it down to 12 for the month, I still made progress.
Yeah.
Right? So it's that monthly routine that gives me the opportunity to review where am I at, track my progress, and then adjust. Because, I'm off track. It doesn't make sense to work out the rest of the month. My whole year shot, screw it. I got 2.5 months in. The other, 9.5, I'm done.
Yeah.
No. Let's not go off the rails here. Let's adjust, course correct, and then keep going.
Go again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what can happen as we get older, right? With the, I can't work out like I used to.
Forget it.
Then there's nobody's watching me.
Yeah.
I'm a man. Nobody's going to comment, oh, by the way, you're getting big or anything like that. So it is holding yourself to that standard and being flexible in the fact that, okay, this doesn't look like how it used to. That's okay.
That's all right.
But I still need to be not putting up a zero and investing in this.
Yeah, that's right.
For life.
And that's where a good coach comes in, Matt. Right?
Yeah.
Somebody that from the outside that can look in and say, man, here's where you are. It's okay. Right? I'm here to help you. Right? I'm here to take you to the next post. You don't have to stop where you are. And that voice, I think, is very important for a lot of people. And I think very useful. And hats off to you for what you're doing.
I appreciate that. I think what you said there was really important. Just starting with, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anywhere by not starting where you're at.
Good news, Matt. I'm not in danger of qualifying for the Boston Marathon.
Right.
I'm not.
Not in danger. I like it. Not in danger.
They're not going to suck me in, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, guess what? We saw you run. You qualify. No, just not.
Too good. The last one was about any practices about being present, about that intentionally being where your feet are in each moment.
Yeah.
Switching from work mode to dad mode to husband mode.
Yeah. Biggest thing I do at night when I go home is I turn the phone upside down, face down, turn the ringer off. Mm-hmm. The random email coming in, I used to take the bait on, I can answer that quick and then it's done for tomorrow. An empty email box is great. I mean, all these things that get in your head and you get sucked into. Turn it off, turn it over, leave it.
Yeah.
Let it sit for a night. And just, I think that comes with time and maturity. So one of those, that first piece was, how can I disconnect from the digital world? Because we all get sucked into it. And make it what it's supposed to be. Make it be a tool for productivity and intentionality, not an urgency tool.
And a distraction.
Yeah, because it's easy, right?
Were there times when you felt like I need to answer that because I don't want to get behind? I'm worried about, getting ahead, how other people are perceiving the business, what I need to be doing there.
Yeah. So as a young business owner, everything is urgency, right? And everything is an alarm bell, and everything is a 5-alarm fire. And your brain goes to this place: if I don't take care of this, or this person doesn't want to do business with us, it's all going to end, and nuclear war will take place. All this stuff, right? I mean, you just go down this path.
Yeah.
And then after a few years, you're like, breathe. Tomorrow's another day. We'll figure it out. Yeah, it's not perfect, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
The maturity just starts to set in, and you start to realize what is and isn't important. So I would say it just comes with time.
Yeah.
Right? And knowing that, this may seem like a big deal now, but this too can wait till tomorrow. And I use the saying around here too with our people, look, we're not launching space shuttles here.
Yeah.
We're not. Yes, what we do in our business is important. Yes, we answer our customer phone calls. Yes, we take care of them. But at the end of the day, we're not saving lives and we're not putting people on the moon. So we can figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some latitude.
Yeah. Figure it out is being a business owner.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah. And I think when you're younger in general, it's like, I need to have it figured out tomorrow. Like, what's going on? And now we've got Instagram, and this guy's got it figured out, and he's driving a Ferrari, and I'm doing this. And it's like, well, slow down.
Correct.
Slow down. I think that's one thing that they say the advice you would have given yourself 10 years ago is the advice you need now.
Right.
And I keep remembering that. I'm like, dude, slow down. Like, you're okay. You're okay.
You touched on a pretty important point there, too, when you think about that intentionality and being present. We work with our kids very hard to let them know, hey, what you see on social media and on the internet isn't all true. Not all of it's reality, right? So be careful what you allow to pass through the gates of your mind and perceive as, this is what's happening. You don't know. You're not in that person's life. You haven't walked a mile in their moccasins, so you don't know what is and what isn't going on.
You haven't drove a mile in their rented Ferrari.
Exactly. That's exactly
right. That they pay for half the day in Vegas.
Yeah, what are we doing?
We're rounding out to the end, and there's been a couple of little sayings that you've chucked in and about there, and a couple that I've stolen. Obviously, I love that we're not landing rockets on the moon. Helps me keep my feet on the ground. Right. Is there one that is your go-to? Like, these are my words to live by. I think this is going to be a section that I ask everyone if they got your little words to live by that really resonate for you.
Yeah, I would. That's a really good one. If I could package one set of concepts together, it would be, we don't know what we don't know. Often, as men, as business leaders, we feel like we delude ourselves that we're supposed to have all the answers, that anybody can come to us for anything, that we can solve everything. Take the cape off the door, put the cape on, run out the door, come back, put the cape back on the wall. That's not reality, okay? We don't have to have all the answers. It's okay to say, I don't know. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to have mentors. It's okay to show vulnerability. It's okay to find that information that you're looking for. And then once you find it, you're just a little bit better than you were yesterday. And so when I can keep grounded around, I don't know what I don't know, it helps me understand I got to get better, right? I got to keep learning. Technology is advancing at a pace that you can't know everything all the time. You're never going to. And if you get good at seeking out information to solve problems, that's the real answer to what you're looking for. You're not going to know how to solve all problems, but if you can get the information and dig it up and recognize when you're in a situation of, wait a minute, I think I know what to do here. My old habits and patterns tell me I know everything about this, but there might be something going on here I don't understand. Slow down. What do I not know about this situation? Identify that, fill in the gaps, and then go.
And then work it out.
Right.
I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
Massive. I'm excited to see what they come out as across speaking to different people. Make a little book of it.
Yeah.
Anything else, mate, that you want to add?
No, this has been cool.
Wrapping
I really didn't know, how the conversation would flow. I feel it's very much been a conversation today. I hope out of anything that I've shared, I very much want to convey the idea of I'm just one guy with one set of opinions, living one life and one set of circumstances. The older I get, the more I realize there's a whole bunch of right answers to a whole bunch of different questions.
Yeah.
Right? There's no one way to do this. There's no one set pattern. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's going through something different. And over time, I hope that I've learned to slow down and just see situations and understand there's a lot more going on there than I realized at the outset. And so I'm going to ask way more questions than I'm going to do talking and just listen and gain bigger perspective. Right?
Yeah.
The world's a complicated place.
Definitely. And I think that even, obviously, this is called The Example Podcast. My program's called The Example. But you alluded to it earlier when you said your biggest opportunity for young men is to really know yourself. And I think the more that you can live as the example for you, obviously there's things that we need in there. For me, the gratitude is in there, taking care of your health, being mindful, service are great things. But how that looks for you, and for want of a better term, being ready to die on that hill for you, I think is what I hope is what living and enjoying living as a man is all about.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Look, man, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
As you know, as I said earlier, I grew up without a dad. So to see you as that role model for all those kids out there when you're coaching, not only are you a fantastic dad to your 3 kids and a husband, but for all the kids out there, that really resonated with me. And I came back to Iowa at 31 in kind of a mix. Been through a lot of stuff. And even then, I felt that you carry this like fatherly presence with you. And I think I feel that it's through a couple of ways. Like your demeanor is so calm and unjudgmental. And you just said there, you're seeking knowledge all the time. You have so much wisdom. I know you said that you're just one guy, and obviously we all are, but you do have so much wisdom and you share it freely. The love and care that you have, not just for your own kids, but for other people's kids, and that you wouldn't be leading this huge team if you didn't have that. I think that's super tangible for me. And to balance it all, mate, there's still a playful, light-hearted man in there. And I think when I thought about this months ago, I told you, I was like, yeah, you would be my first guest. And you said yes right away. Yeah. And I think that is because, mate, everything that I've just listed there is the recipe of what a great man is, the example of what a great man is. So on behalf of myself, obviously, and everyone that gets to come in contact with you, thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you. And this is also an extension to everyone that's had the ability to speak into my life and coach me and mentor me in a lot of different arenas in a lot of different ways. And so there's a whole set of people behind me that I had the opportunity to learn from. So hopefully for those listening to this, they find who those people are in their life. They find who that network of people is that they can start to lean on, form a brotherhood with, and gleam and grow from that environment. Because it's a cool gig. It's really cool. And as you alluded to, it's been a lot of fun for me.
Yeah. Love it, mate. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wait! That was